Hello and welcome to a new video. We have some exciting news for World of Warcraft Bronzebeard. The release date of Molten Core got just announced, as well as a new upcoming event and more. So let's dive into the news. So we just got an announcement in the Discord server. The Winterveil event, the Christmas event for World of Warcraft, is coming. And what's even more important, we have finally the release date of Molten Core. Molten Core officially releases on December 13th. This means Saturday in 2 weeks we can go into the first raid tier Molten Core. On Warcraft Reborn we have 4 difficulty modes on Molten Core, same as in Sul'Gurub. We can play in normal, heroic, mythic and ascended. But there is even more. They also expanded the boss mechanics, so we have new spell and mechanics exclusive to Bronzebeard, as well as updated spells, visuals and encounters in the whole raid. The creature RPG overhaul is also a part of the raid. We have other armor classes and stuff like this. We have new reputation rewards, which is very exciting. Itemization updates, new tier sets as well, as we can see here, and complete new gear overall and the different versions here is really awesome. Really looking forward for this. There will also be global tier tokens. We have token drops in the raid, no random drops for classes, which is good, so you can trade in your tokens for the set piece you want. Good change. Horizontal tier progression, we will see what this means. Sounds interesting. Legendary items, of course. The Hand of Ragnaros. I have my mats ready to get this item. The next year of the Daemon Rings release. I have no clue what this is, to be honest. Callboard cash upgrades to Molten Core. That's good. You can also find Bloodforged and heroic Bloodforged Molten Core gear for all PvPers. Romos the Redeemer gets normal Molten Core gear, so you can trade in your tier tokens for the normal versions of the set, which will shake up tier list a little bit. And more. Really interesting, really cool, looking forward for this. For the next news, the Winterveil begins on December 15. You can get the Feast of Winterveil here for your raid. You can do all the special Christmas themed quests, you can get special recipes, you can get the holiday hats, rescue medicine in a quest and so on. There is also a new event boss. Grumpus is found to the open world only, so it is interesting, new boss. We will try this out for sure. Next, we have even more balance updates. We had 2 rounds already with buffs and nerfs for classes. This will continue, really interesting. Also, there is a prestige event. You can earn 2 times of Rune of Ascension from prestiging in December. Also, some news for the shop. You can get a free mount here if you are into this. Let's look more into the raid mechanics for Molten Core. It seems like each boss gets new spells, which is really awesome. Also complete new boss mechanics, which we haven't seen before. This is also really cool. We can find out what this is all about soon. So for the RPG creature overhaul, obviously they will have increased resistance to fire as they write here, but there will also be some unpredictable stats. Will be interesting to see what this will be about, but it doesn't seem like that they go into detail here. We have to find out for ourselves. Probably high armor, I would say, arcane resistance here. Yeah, will be interesting. Attunements, rune dowsing, all questions we had in our guild before. Do we need dowsers? Do we need to do the pre-quest? Let's see what they write about it. On Ascension, you do not need to douse boss runes. They are automatically extinguished once the boss is defeated. Good news for everyone. You don't have to do the pre-quest for Molten Core. You can just go into the raid. No unnecessary time needs to be invested to play this raid. Great change. So for attunements, it seems like attunements are only required for entering the Ascended difficulty mode. We need an attunement for Ascended mode. Is it the normal pre-quest or do we need some more? Really interesting to see. I have finished my pre-quest, a normal one in BRD. Not sure if this is meant or if we need something else. We don't need dowsers overall. That's cool. For reputation, the Hydraxian Waterlords are now a complete reputation with awesome rewards for gaining rep with. So if you raid Molten Core, you can get new items like the spec with fire resistance here, a new spell penetration trinket which increases spell power, and fire spell power, interesting for mages, epic waist, epic shoulder, and a trinket which increases your haste rate for healers. Looks cool. Also, you don't need to go to Duke Hydraxis anymore, to Azshara it seems like. There will be a reputation vendor inside Blackrock Mountain from now on. Also a good change to not have you to walk to Azshara all the times. We also have some new items shown here, like the Blade of Dragonbone. This is a spell power sword. Looks cool in the mythic version. Great stats on it. Also this Eternal Flame artifact here, which increases attack power, haste, and your hits have a chance to increase your haste rating even more. Also looks cool. Will be interesting to see what else we will see here. Now they go into the tier sets here. They have new tier sets for all those hybrid classes. So each class can have a set for DPS, tank and heal, which is also pretty good. And not only this, they also have tier sets for every specialization, so you can have a tier set as a tank, enhancement, elemental restoration as a shaman for example, so a lot of different versions. This is good, so every playstyle have their own support here on Ascension. They also changed the tier set bonuses to 3 and 6 piece, so you can mix and match all different versions here together. Will also be interesting for us paladins to see what we get here. Major Dome Executors now also drops tier 2 bracers. That's cool. So this means you can get a tier 2 bonus once Onyxia drops. So you can get the legs from Ragnaros, the head from Onyxia, and the bracers from Major Domo. That's a good change for a nice mix and match of our tier 1 and tier 2 then. Great change. Here are some examples for ascended versions of those items. Really cool. For the next news, we have the global tier tokens here. Global tier tokens arrive to make sure every boss is always valuable for every member of your raid, so you can use this to trade in for the exact items you need. That's cool. Tier sets on Warcraft Reborn are now obtained by trading tier tokens, as we saw it before. That's also really good. Every boss in Molten Core drops the tier tokens equivalent to the set item they used to drop. If someone dropped a paladin item before, he now drops a paladin token instead. Cool change. This means you can always trade in the right set item you need. There are tier tokens for every difficulty modes. Of course, if you rate Ascended Molten Core, you will get tokens for the Ascended tier set. Horizontal tier progression. Many classes want to play multiple specs. We hybrids love to do that. With horizontal tier progression, it allows us to buy a tier pieces for gold once you've turned in a tier token for the specific slot. So you can basically trade in your set item for every other specialization set you want for gold. That's also a cool change. This means you can swap your specialization and you can swap the items for it what you need. Good change, makes it more flexible to play different specs. You can do this in the major towns, it seems like Stormwind and Orgrimmar. Looking into the updated itemization, they reworked a lot of items like good old Wender Strike here. It now increases our spell power and strength, so this becomes a paladin item it seems with an chance on hit effect. Pretty cool. Same goes for the Shard of the Flame here for example, so they adjusted the stuff. Really nice. Anathema is now a feral item. That's unique. Yeah, interesting. Legendary items. Let's see what they do with this. Legendary items have been overhauled to make them truly exemplary to their iconic legendary status. For example, Sulphurous, Thunder Fury and so on. So let's see what they have done with this. Sulphurous has now a cleave effect, dealing chance on hit to all enemies in front. That's really good. Look at those damage numbers. That's the Ascended versions. I want this. This looks insane. As well as the proc effect of 706 fire damage in Ascended. This is insane. Thunder Fury has a way stronger proc now it seems like, on top of its previous effect and better stats, so really great changes here. I like this a lot. Also the Talisman of Binding Shard is a part of Ascension's Molten Core. They introduced this in WoW Classic, only one player ever got this, so it's part of this version of the game. Let's see what it's all about. It's a tank item it seems like, with insane amounts of stamina, defense, expertise, and it also increases your resistances, really cool. And it has an struck in combat effect, great thing. There is also a DPS version of this, which increases crit, attack power and expertise. Wow, this is insane. And it adds nature damage to your melee attacks, really strong. So you can transform this basically. Let's see what you write about it. So you can get legendary neck as well on top of the legendary weapons here. We also have new crafted gear on top of all of this. Also upgrades here for clove, leather, mail, plate, Dark Iron Gauntlets here. This is our new biz as a paladin, for example. I will get this for sure, great stats. Okay, the Denman Brothers. A group of cunning merchants expanded their venture. This is the epic ring vendor. You also have this in Orgrimmar. So with this, you can get special rings for helping out the specs you are playing. Also really cool. So we have even more of this right now. Your change, like this arcane loop here for casters, this cleric circle for healers, an assassin ring for rogues, for example. Yeah. Great adjustments. Worldforged items. With the release of Molten Core, you will be able to use Rune of Ascension to upgrade your Worldforged items into next tier versions, so really nice. You have to defeat Ragnaros on any difficulty to be able to upgrade your Worldforged items. For example, this Executioner's Axe here in the epic version nice adjustments. Callboard caches, yeah, they adjust the Callboard cache for Molten Core gear. To get it, you need to have an item level of at least 63, same as it was for Soul Group. You can find the Bloodforged and heroic versions of Molten Core items as well. From now on in high risk PvP, all your PvP viewers out there, new items for you. Ramot is the Redeemer. This is the vendor for raid items, so from now on you can use your raiders' commendations which you get from killing bosses to use it for Molten Core items. But you need to stay Ragnaros first to get access to this version. Nice adjustment, you can get some good gear here in the normal version. More balance changes as well. Let's look into them. They are buffing mages. Mages seem to need a little bit more love, and as I heard from mage players as well, the Frost talent Arctic Winds now increases your frost damage dealt by 2, 4 and 6%, up from 1, 2 and 3%. Buff here. Frost Bomb, the legendary Mystic enchant, get adjusted. Explosion damage has been increased by 20%. Frozen Haste, the epic enchant now grants 10% spell haste, up from 8%. The epic enchant Stay Frosty gets adjusted. It now increases the chance for Finger of Frost to trigger by additional 3%. The stack up from 2%. And Rapid Shatter, also epic enchant, now has an additional mechanic. Instant spells cast immediately following a Frostbolt do not consume Finger of Frost. This means that with this enchant, doing a Frostbolt Ice Dance combo with 2 of 2 Fingers of Frost will only consume 1 charge. The Fire Spec also gets adjustments. Pyromaniac now increases your critical strike chance by 2, 4 and 6%, up from 1, 2, 3%. And Fireball. The additional Fireball cast through this enchant is now guaranteed to critically strike. This means it will always trigger Ignite and contribute to your hot streaks. We also have even more Shaman changes. The elemental talent Booming Echoes get adjusted as well. This now increases the damage of Earthshock in addition to Frost and Flameshock. Elemental talent Lightning Overload. The proc chance of this talent has been increased to 14, 27, 40%, up to 11, 22 and 33%. So buffs for elemental shamans here. Flame Ascendance now also has a new passive effect. Your Lava Burst gains 1% spell critical damage bonus for each 1% crit chance above 100. Even more buffs for elemental shaman, really good. Lava Burn, the epic enchant got also changed. The damage granted by this enchant now accumulates, similar to Ignite, instead of being overwritten. To account for this, its damage inheritance has been lowered from 20 to 15%. This will make the value of this enchant more consistent and intuitive, especially when paired with Flame Ascendance. Booming Thunder, a legendary enchant, get adjusted as well. The Lightning Overload effect of this enchant has been moved to Mastery of Lightning, and a new effect has been added instead. Using Earthshock with at least 8 stacks will cause a lightning strike, applying the Flameshock periodic effect to the target. In addition, the bonus to Earthshock have been increased from 6 to 8%. These changes will make pressing Earthshock feel far more impactful with this enchant. So another buff here, strong for elemental shamans. The epic enchant Mastery of Lightning got adjusted as well. This enchant now also doubles the chance for Overload to trigger on critical strikes, so it is strong. This will be slightly stronger than the previous flat 20% for most elemental shamans, and it will improve their stat scaling. Ungrounded got changed as well. They updated the tooltip on this one to correctly reflect that it grants critical strike chance and not damage. No change here, just an adjustment of the tooltip. Druids next. The balance talent Dream State get adjusted. This now regenerates mana equal to 6, 12 and 18% of your intellect every 5 seconds, up from 4, 8 and 12%, so a buff here. Balance spells, the damage of Insect, Swarm, Moonfire and Sunfire has been increased by 5% in PvE combat. Wow, Moonkins were already good. This is a strong change for them for sure. The talent Rafa Scenarios also got adjusted. This talent now increases the spell power coefficient of Starfire and Star Surge by 10, 20 and 30%, up from 7, 14 and 20%. And Wrath by 5, 10, 15%, up from 4, 7, 10%. Glyph of Starfire got adjusted as well. This now extends the duration of your Moonfire by up to 12 seconds, up from 9. Also, there seems to be a quality of life due to a bug. Druid mana regeneration from Spirit and Intellect was 25% higher than other classes. This explains why Resto Druids was much less taxed than other healers. Half of this difference has been removed, so big nerf for Resto Druids here. The remainder will likely be removed by a future date, but they don't want to impact it that much, so big nerf for Resto Druids on this point. The Legendary Overflow get adjusted as well. Rather than healing 3 extra targets with when at 3 stacks, the extra heal triggered by Healing Touch now heals 1 extra target per stack. The guaranteed Living Seed trigger will now also occur at any stack amount, rather than requiring 3 stacks. This makes this enchant more versatile and intuitive to use. Big buff for Moonkins, nerf for Resto Hunter. Immolation Trap now scales from ranged modifiers instead of spell modifiers. This makes total sense. Buff for Hunter here. Chimera Shot now benefits from improved barrage and barrage talent, so a buff here. Survival talent Master Tactician now has a 30% chance on a successful ranged attack to increase your critical strike chance with all attacks down from 100%. In addition, now increases your ranged attack speed by 5, 10 and 15%. And Flare Strike now deals fire damage, changed from physical. The damage taken increased, now lasts for 15 seconds up for 10. Also a buff here, but maybe a nerf on Molten Core. Charged up now causes your attack to bypass 10% of your target's armor, down from 25%. Ooh, this is a nerf. Quickfire Tactics, this enchant now reduces the cooldown of Flare Strike by 1 second whenever you deal damage with auto shot or steady shot, instead when lock and load this triggers. Okay, I'm not a hunter player, so I don't know if this is good or bad. Mixed changes for hunter here for sure. Priest, more lore for Shadow Priest, they absolutely need this. Twisted Faith, talent get adjusted. Now increases your spell power by 8, 16, 25%, up from 7, 14 and 20%. Buff for Shadow Priest, really good. Misery now increases the benefit from spell power gained by your Mind Blast, Mind Flame, Mind Seer by 8, 16, 25, up from 5, 10 and 15%. Absolute more buff for Shadow Priest, absolutely needed. Good change here. Nothing for Paladins, that's fine for me. I think Paladins are really good in the meta right now. They are not too strong and not too weak. Okay, Prestige event, as we read before. During Prestige, if you set your character back to level 1, you will earn 275% multiplicative bonus experience during your run. And if you hit your level cap, you earn a chest of endgame rewards and Runes of Ascension. Prestiging, nice tool for this if you're into this. Every time you start now, you receive the double amounts of Rune of Ascension, 50,000 Runes of Ascension every time you Prestige during the month of December. So a good way to farm Runes of Ascension here. There are also new hardcore trials in the category Hardcore, Iron Man and Nightmare. In Hardcore you have the 1 life challenge. In Iron Man you're only solo self-found, and Nightmare is a lot of different goals you have to do during a specific time while leveling. For this you get specific nice loot and other rewards. If you're into this, you can try this out. You can try it at a Trial Master. And we have this mount here which you can get from the shop. As we said before, if you're into this, look into it. And the Feast of Winterveil is coming, the Christmas event for World of Warcraft. There is this Abominable Grinch here in Alterac Mountain, a high level boss. If you kill him, you can get a special gift. For example, Elixir of Frost Power, Edge of Winter, Snowmaster for Engineering. So for different professions you can get nice loot when you defeat him. You can turn yourself into a gnome during the Christmas days. You can get those winter hats, we all know. Also some more transmogs, winter revolvers here. And you can get a spirit buff inside the inn. Rumpus is the special boss with unique daily quests. Defeating him gives you exclusive cosmetic rewards if you're into this. The Rescuing Medicine Reindeer quest is live. That's all news for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, consider to like and subscribe for more World of Warcraft Bronzebeard content. Special thanks goes out to my channel members who support me with their hard-earned real-life money, especially Nerdman, Aussie, Soul 3, and Jack Colors for being high-tier supporter.